Yo guys, what's going on? Acez here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Escape from Tarkov flea market, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether I think it should be removed or things should be changed with it. Do me a huge favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this video here today, and of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Escape from Tarkov content. If you like long-form content with raids and other series, such as the Hardcore series, check me out on the Acez TV channel. Let's hop right into this one here today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure your favorite creators or streamers have already talked about this, or you might have even done the survey that is now available in Escape from Tarkov that basically talks all about the flea market. It's all the rage right now. It's all the talk. But as someone who's been abusing the flea market since 2019, I felt like I should hop on here and give you guys my 2 cents on it, because I know a lot of you have subscribed to this channel. When it comes to the flea market and the flipping, the abusing, making you money, I know a lot of you are here from that. So I figure I'm definitely somebody who should at least give you my opinions on it from both the flea market perspective, the gameplay perspective, the PvP perspective, and the PvE perspective. I kind of got it all. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check out that survey for you guys who haven't filled it out yet. It's available in-game. At first, BSG actually ran a poll on Twitter, and they got a decent amount of backlash for that. They said you need to do it in-game, not just the people on Twitter who aren't playing anymore. And I got to say, I kind of agree with that. So we're going to check out the survey. I actually haven't looked at it yet, so I don't really know what we're getting into. I know one of the answers is remove the flea market entirely. It's the only thing I've seen, so if it's more than one question, I'll give you my first impressions. All right, so which game mode do you play? I primarily play PvE. I actually did dabble in a little PvP this wipe, though. I will be completely honest. Have you played Escape from Tarkov when the flea market was closed? I'm going to answer yes to this because I am on my hardcore account, and that's where I've been playing the most Escape from Tarkov recently. And I don't use the flea market. We use it for a couple things, and we're going to get into that in a little later in the video, but I don't use the flea market. It's a hardcore account. So basically, I was playing with no flea market. So I'm actually going to answer yes to this. Do you find Escape from Tarkov gameplay more engaging with the flea market closed? Yes, and we will talk about this momentarily. What major challenges did you face when the flea market was closed? You can select multiple options. So, inability to purchase keys needed for quest. This is 100% one I'm going to click here because this is something that I do allow on my hardcore playthrough. I do allow for certain quest items to be purchased because some of them are simply impossible to find. We will talk about that later. It's going to be a fairly long video. We do have a lot to discuss because it is a very important part of Escape from Tarkov, and we can't, just spew out a bunch of shit and not take it seriously. Inability to purchase equipment? Nope. Meds, ammo? Nope. In-game quest? You could associate this with the keys, but to be honest with you, I'm not going to select this one. Requirement to find found and raid items? Nope. Inability to craft certain items? Nope. And then there's the did not play while flea market was closed, and then there's didn't encounter any difficulties. So I think the keys is the most important one, and I have a little note card in front of me, and we're going to talk about keys. What changes would you make to the flea market system? Allow listing offers only for barter trades? Absolutely not. We're going to talk about why shortly. List the items available for listing on the... Limit the items, excuse me. That one is probably what I'm going to lean to, but I haven't read all the options yet. Remove all restrictions? Definitely not. Introduce specific operating times for the flea market. Hey, that's not actually a bad idea, but I don't think that's something I really think we should do. But if it was weekends only, I think that would be okay. It wouldn't be great, but I don't think. Allow listings only with the found and raid, so that would be back to the old flea market. Definitely not. And then I'm satisfied with the current flea market. So I think this is the option I'm going to go with, and we'll talk about that more later. What, in your opinion, is the most optimal operating format of the flea market? You select multiple options. So 2 weeks after wipe, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 month. Unlock the flea following a global event. Close the flea based on your level, so right now 15. Remove the flea market from the game entirely. Keep the flea market open from the start of wipe. Scheduled work at the flea market. So the option that I personally want is not here because it mainly goes to this. Limit the items available for listing on the flea market. This is the one that I think if it was tuned enough that could work the best. But given all of these options, I think removing the flea market from the game entirely, assuming the correct things are put in place after its removal, is the correct option. So we're going to go ahead and send this survey. I don't know if you get a reward or not. If you do, I'll show it to you here. Survey reward, you do. You get a couple of car batteries. I might even need those in the hardcore account, but unfortunately, they will be deleted. So we're probably just going to sit here at the menu. Maybe we'll, yeah, we will. We'll hop in the flea market a little bit because I'll go through kind of my thought process on everything and kind of how I'm feeling about it. But I want you to understand something. Right now, money is so easily made in the flea market. So with the most recent video I did, the one where I talked about the unlimited stash space, I told you guys to purchase the Terra Frame bag, the Christmas edition, because you could put cases in it, and specifically junk boxes. That's a huge thing. And it really does allow you to open your stash up. Now, on my main account, not the hardcore account, we're on the hardcore account, the main account, I did buy 4 of these, threw them in a thick case, and I put my junk boxes in there because you cannot put junk boxes into a thick case, but if they're in the bag, then you can put them in the bag and then in the thick case, so you can really clear up some stash space. These bags were 50,000 rubles. Last time I checked, they were between 2 and 4 million. There you go. So when it comes to taking 50K and turning it into 2 million, I think that kind of ruins a lot of aspects of the game. So when you have so many items that you can collect in Escape from Tarkov, so many items you can loot, when you have infinite money, everything you see on the screen right now doesn't matter unless it's for a task, unless it's for a quest. So you remove looting from Escape from Tarkov completely, and I think it's a large part of the game. And for everybody who just screams, man, I want to do PvP only, that's what Arena is for, okay? That is the primary objective of Arena, is PvP. And I get it, it's not on the Tarkov maps, I completely understand that, but at the end of the day, if you want PvP, Arena is going to be the best place for it. So let me give you my vision of the flea market, what I think should be done. I think almost everything on the list should be taken away. Almost everything, but not everything. So when it comes to our barter items, I think you should be allowed to sell and purchase posters. I think the posters are just for the hideout. I think, to be honest, I think that should be fine. I think allowing the sale of posters or things that really don't impact the gameplay at all, I think that should be allowed. I don't see any reason you should take away the buying and selling of posters. And if there's people that are going to do real money trading via the flea market with posters, it would be very easily identifiable. So, next thing, I do not think keys should be available for purchase if the correct barters are added to the traders for every single quest key. I think the barters need to be reasonable, they need to be doable, and keys should not be for sale on the flea market. You know, or make spawn rates for the keys very high, 80, 90, 100%. You know, there has to be a change. If you're going to take away the flea market, you have to change the dynamics of keys. You could literally get stuck for weeks with keys if you are not finding them in raid, and especially for the PvP crowd. So 100% spawn rates, that would really help in PvP. You got 12 people in a server, 12 people need the key, only one person's going to put it in their ass. So that's where we're at. So you need reasonable barters from the traders, or you need high spawn rates, or you need both. And then you could take keys away off of the flea market. The next thing I think should be able to be purchased, bought, and sold are all containers. Containers just make the quality of life sky high in the game. And unless you add certain barters that are more reasonable, available earlier in the trader progression system, or, you know, just easier access to get them, I think they should just be allowed to be purchased and sold. That's just my opinion. On the hardcore account here, this account, I wouldn't even play if I couldn't have these containers. And I purchased the large majority of these containers off of the flea market. And I think even Pastillion is most recent or a recent hardcore playthrough allows the purchase of containers off of the flea market because you kind of can't really enjoy the game without them, at least in my opinion. It's very hard to progress, especially with a small stash. So, with the containers out of the way, I think everything else, I think weapon parts, yes, all mods, everything. Weapons and ammo, all of it gone. Find it all in raid, buy it from your traders, craft good ammunition. Ammo is so easy to get now. I have an ammo video that we released recently where we went through Lighthouse and we're getting, you know, ammo that is penetrating class 6 armor. You know, it's just like, you can get so much of it. That new room in labs that was added with the zombie update, you get so much good ammo out of there. You know, there's plenty of ways to get ammunition in Escape from Tarkov, And to be honest with you, I don't think it needs to be bought or sold off of the flea market. Trader only and found in raid only. So I think provisions, as for food and water, I think it should be allowed for, purchase and to sell on the flea market, mainly because you just don't get enough from the trader. If you're going to play for a while on a therapist restock and you can only purchase a couple bottles of water, you can also do the barter. You just don't have many options for food and water. So if you wanted to take that away from the flea market, make the barters easier or just have them all available for purchase from rubles if you wanted to take that away. Otherwise, I don't think there's any reason to take it away. I think you leave this up here for the players who like playing a lot, and especially in an early wipe, they're going to be running through food and water. Especially, if they're not very knowledgeable for food spawns, like if they don't know about interchange or they don't know about some of just the loose food spawns that could spawn or in the back of cars, whatever. Some of these players, they don't know all this stuff yet. So it's going to really hurt their experience if they're constantly dehydrated. And, if they got an entire weekend off to play, you want them on your game as long as possible. So I think food and water should be available for sale. If you wanted to take away some of the, food and water barter items that are important, for the mini fridge, for example, you could take those away. You could do that. But once again, I think containers should be available for purchase anyway, so there's not really a reason not to. Meds, this one's going to be controversial with a lot of you. I already know. I don't think meds should be allowed for purchase here on the flea market. But what I do think is that labs cards need to be more accessible. Right now on PvP Tarkov, I'm seeing it constantly, that labs is relatively unplayable. And that's really sad. Labs is a really fun map once you learn it, once you get comfortable on it. And for a lot of players, they just don't get there. They just don't go there enough. And, whether it's the Raiders or if you're on PvP, Raiders plus players, sometimes you just get kind of scared. Whether that's your gear fear or just lack of experience that's stopping you from going, it is what it is. Labs has an incredible amount of meds on it. I think labs cards should be available for purchase, just based off of the flea market, or available earlier from therapist. Doesn't have to be at level 1, but the flea market's available at level 15. You get therapist level 2 at level 13, whether that is making level 2 therapists have labs cards and increasing the price, and then as you get higher loyalty level, it decreases the price. So let's say you do therapist level 2, level 13, you can get labs cards, go to labs, get all the meds you could ever want. Let's say the labs cards cost 250,000, which is kind of market right now last time I checked. And then once you hit therapist level 3, boom, knock it down to 200,000. Then once you get max loyalty, the king level, then, your labs cards are going to be 166K or whatever. Something very similar on that pricing scale. So I think take the meds off, make people go to labs more, incentivize going to labs more on PvP specifically, so you're getting less cheaters just in the player pool in general, and more people get to enjoy labs, more people get to try out labs. It's a map that not a lot of people go to because of the cheating problem, but if there's more players in the player pool, and there's only like 8 players that go on labs, it's going to make everything better, in my opinion. Everything today, my opinion only. So the one and only other thing that I think should be allowed is going to be repair kits. I think repair kits should be allowed on the flea market, just to help level up your skills and, of course, get decent repairability. A lot of people just click repair, and they don't do mechanic, they'll do proper, and it's shittier repair quality. At least with the armor repair kits and the weapon repair kits, it's decent or quality. Sometimes mechanic's a little bit better, but I don't see a reason repair kits shouldn't be allowed, because they are extremely inconvenient to get out of a raid. If you're on factory and you find one, great. If you're at the, Ruoff on customs, there's a spawn there for the armor ones, I believe. There's a couple spawns that are close to extracts where it makes sense. But if you find one and you still have to go across the map, you're not picking it up. So I think armor repair kits should be allowed. So with all that being said, that's what I think should be kept on the flea. What do I think should be done with the current system? I think rep should be completely eliminated. Just take rep away. I think rep is a stupid system. And then you just have 5 permanent slots indefinitely for some of those items that I talked about. I don't think you'll ever need 5 slots. I don't think you'll have 5 containers at once, or if you're going to list 2 posters and a water bottle and some food in a container. Yeah, you could, but You know, you could keep it at 3 slots, you could keep it at 4, you could keep it at 5. It doesn't matter to me, but I think just allow permanent slots, no going up, no going down, no negative rep. If people, you know, list something too high, just let it expire. Who cares? Do not penalize them. You know, if they're selling for 40 million rubles and the fee allows that to go through and you think they're real money trading, BSG, do whatever you want accordingly, investigate them. But truthfully, guys, you know, the whole reasoning behind all of this is because when I'm playing this hardcore account, this is the only fun I've been having lately on Escape from Tarkov. My main account, I haven't been able to play it recently, and I'm going to go back and do the Forever Raid series, which is a series on the Acez TV channel where we go into a raid with a pistol and we try to survive in the raid for as long as possible or until I just get tired. And typically, I'll kind of get tired of it after, you know, 3.5 hours. But that's, you know, the concept is with that on my main account doing the Forever Raids, I start with a pistol. Here on the hardcore account, I have to use what I find in raid. I have to use things. I have to, you know, I'm forced to do certain things. And when you are forced to do something, you adapt and you make the best of your situation. When you have everything available at your fingertips, you skip a lot of the fun, grindy, and kind of the punch you in the nuts feeling that Tarkov likes to give you. You kind of lose out on that. And that is kind of Tarkov's identity. Yes, there should be quality of life things. Yes, cases, they're very quality of life. But at the same time, Tarkov is a raw, gritty, survival shooter, looter shooter game. It's that experience alone is something you really don't get with any other game in the market. There's been so many Tarkov copycats. None of them have survived. Tarkov is the only one. And it got here because of that raw, gritty gameplay. I think personally that incentivizing you to loot flashlights and loot, you know, EOTechs or loot even shitty ammo at times, because on the hardcore account, whatever I got, that's what I got. You know, it's just like you give more value to literally everything when you take it away. You know, nobody gives a shit when they can just buy Class 6 armor or a plate carrier, and then you can go to factory, kill Tagilla twice, repair his plates, then you got Class 6 on the front and back. You know, it's just like everything is so easily obtainable, and you're always using the best stuff always when you have the flea market available to you, and it takes away that really raw, gritty, survival-esque style of the game. This is way more noticeable on PvE than it is over on PvP. On PvP, a lot of times you can do a lot of damage with some of the worst gear. You know, it's one of those things like, you know, a Timmy can one-tap you at any time, and that's the best day of that Timmy's life. But for you, it's just another kit. You're going to go, you know, back in with full gear. That Timmy gets to use your gear maybe for a raid, but that Timmy started with nothing. He's surviving. He's a rat. He's just scrummaging through the sewers. When you're grinding and when you are really forced to adapt and you're not playing the way you want, if you can find the beauty in that and really enjoy the process, I think having that play style is really good for your long-term longevity of Escape from Tarkov. Also, another big thing is actually having an objective. There's a lot of times in, you know, wipes before PvE came out that I would get to level 42 and I'd be done. I'd max out all my traders. I would already have my thick cases. I already did private clinic, and I already got a bunch more thicks, and it's just like, I have nothing else to do now. And I got bored. People get bored of Escape from Tarkov. When you take the flea market out, you have objectives. Like, for me, it took me so long to get Ballbeck's cutters on the hardcore series. I think it took me 50 episodes, which is 50 hours worth of content, to get Ballbeck's cutters to level up my generator, and I refused to purchase them off of the flea market. That grind, looking for that item, was super fun, and when I finally found them, that raid was adrenaline pumping, it was fun, it was enjoyable, and actually finding the item was fun and enjoyable. Instead of clicking twice, and you got it off the flea market, and you're done. You have to learn to really enjoy the process, be patient with the game, and really take it for what it is. Short wipes don't help with that. You know, you want to maximize in a short wipe. I get that. This wipe, though, I believe it's going to be longer. So, you know, that is my full wraparound explanation, 20 minutes of yapping about the flea market and my opinions on it. I'm sure I missed stuff. I'm sure I didn't explain stuff right. But at the end of the day, I don't think the flea market needs 100% removed, but I think 95 to 98% of it does. I think it really does take away the Tarkovness of Tarkov, being able to just shortcut and blow through everything, you know, buy whatever you want. It doesn't seem fun. It doesn't seem like you're going into this rugged, you know, grueling Tarkov territory, always getting your ass kicked, it being unforgiving. It's just not there when you have access to everything. You know, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same having 300 million rubles and being able to purchase anything and having zero restrictions. But when I have 8 million, I can't use it for the flea market. But when you have no money, when you're broke and Escape from Tarkov, being a rat, that's honestly the gameplay I love. I don't know if everybody's like that, but that's the gameplay I love. And I love Escape from Tarkov both ends. I love the PvP, you know, gritty gunfights, not getting one-tapped. I'm talking mags on mags, healing, grenades, repositioning. All the PvP is super fun. The only reason I stopped playing PvP is because of the cheaters. You guys know this. I've yapped about it a bunch. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I love it. It's really fun. When you dumb down Tarkov and you make it really gritty, survival, people using shitty ammo, and a lot of luck is involved, grenades, and just everything, right? I think PvP Tarkov will succeed massively from the removal of the flea market in the long run. So hopefully I laid everything out. Hopefully all of that made sense. If you guys would like to debate in the comments, go for it. Keep it cordial down there, man, all right? I'm sick and tired of you guys beating the hell out of each other over a video game. Listen, we're still going to play Tarkov no matter what happens. Let's just be brutally honest. So just keep it cool down there, all right? Go nuts. Leave a like. And if you're going to leave a dislike, it helps my engagement anyway, so go for it. And, you know, it's January, so don't expect another video the rest of the month, because YouTube pays us less than $2 per every 1,000 views. And I just yapped for 22 minutes. So I love you guys. Make sure you're following and subscribing to the Acez TV channel, where I'm just pumping out content like a racehorse for free, because we need 1,000 subs. We only got 260, god damn it. So make sure you drop that sub. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.